Karen's voice sliced through the quiet cul-de-sac like a chainsaw through butter, her shrill accusations echoing off the cookie-cutter houses. "That little thief stole my nephew's bike, and I'll have him locked up," she bellowed, her chins wobbling as she jabbed a manicured finger at 8-year-old Timmy, who stood trembling beside his mother, Sarah. The neighborhood was no stranger to Karen and her sister, Linda, the self-appointed queens of the HOA. Their reign of terror included fining Mrs. Jenkins for her unsightly rose bushes and reporting Mr. Patel's dog for barking at 6 a.m. But today, they'd picked the wrong target. Sarah, a single mom with a fuse shorter than a firecracker, wasn't about to let her son's birthday end in tears. The bike Karen clutched, a shiny red Schwinn with the bow still dangling from the handlebars, was Timmy's birthday gift, bought with Sarah's hard-earned overtime pay. Karen, in her garish floral muumuu, stood on her manicured lawn, her sister Linda nodding smugly beside her. "I saw him riding it in the alley," Karen declared, her voice dripping with disdain. "That's my nephew's bike, and I'll prove it." Linda, a carbon copy of Karen minus 20 pounds, chimed in. "We don't tolerate thieves in our neighborhood." The word, "our," landed like a slap, as if Sarah and Timmy were squatters in their own home. Sarah's blood boiled. She'd scrimped for months to buy that bike, wrapping it in the garage under a tarp to surprise Timmy that morning. His gap-toothed grin as he pedaled down the driveway was the kind of memory she lived for. Now, Karen's meaty hands were smudging the handlebars, and Timmy's eyes were brimming with tears. "It's my bike, Mom," he whispered, clutching her hand. Sarah knelt, wiping his cheek. "I know, baby. We'll fix this." The confrontation had drawn a small crowd. Mrs. Jenkins, still bitter about her roses, and Mr. Patel, whose dog yipped from his porch. Karen, thriving on the attention, raised her voice. "This is what happens when you let riffraff move in. I'm calling the police." She whipped out her phone, her fake nails clacking against the screen. Linda smirked, tossing her over-bleached hair. "You'll regret crossing us, Sarah." Sarah's jaw clenched. She wasn't a fighter. Years of late shifts at the diner had taught her to swallow her pride, but this was different. This was Timmy's birthday, his one day to feel special. "You're wrong, Karen," she said, her voice low but steady. "That bike is his. I have the receipt." Karen scoffed, rolling her eyes. "A receipt? Please. You probably printed it off the internet." The crowd murmured, and Sarah felt the sting of their doubt. She'd moved here for a fresh start after her divorce, but Karen had made it clear she didn't belong. Minutes later, a police cruiser rolled up, its lights casting an eerie glow over the scene. Officer Daniels, a no-nonsense man with a graying mustache, stepped out. Karen pounced, her voice syrupy with fake concern. "Officer, thank goodness. This boy stole my nephew's bike, and his mother's covering for him." Linda nodded, adding, "We've had issues with their kind before." The phrase hung in the air, heavy with unspoken prejudice. Sarah's hands curled into fists, but she forced herself to stay calm for Timmy's sake. Officer Daniels raised a hand, silencing Karen. "Let's hear both sides." "Ma'am." He turned to Sarah, who pulled a crumpled receipt from her purse. "I bought this bike from CycleWorks last week," she said, her voice shaking but firm. "It was a birthday gift from my son." Timmy, clutching a stuffed dinosaur from his party, nodded vigorously. "It's mine. I got it this morning." Karen snorted, crossing her arms. "Likely story. My nephew's bike went missing yesterday, and I saw this kid riding it." Linda chimed in. "Check the serial number. It'll match." Officer Daniels knelt by the bike, scribbling down the number. He radioed dispatch, his face unreadable. The crowd leaned in, the tension thick enough to choke on. Sarah's heart pounded. Checked the bike herself. But what if there was a mix-up? What if Karen's lies held up? Minutes dragged like hours. Karen and Linda whispered to each other, smirking as if they'd already won. Timmy clung to Sarah's leg, his dinosaur dangling limply. Mrs. Jenkins muttered, "Those two are always stirring trouble." Mr. Patel nodded, his dog still yipping in the background. Sarah felt a flicker of hope. Maybe the neighbors weren't all against her. Officer Daniels' radio crackled, and he listened intently. His expression shifted, a faint smirk tugging at his lips. "Well, Ladies, he said, turning to Karen and Linda. The serial number checks out. This bike was purchased by Ms. Sarah Collins on Tuesday. Registered to her son, Timmy. Sarah exhaled, pulling Timmy close. The crowd murmured, a ripple of satisfaction spreading through them. Karen's face turned the color of her muumuu. That's impossible, she sputtered. My nephew, Officer Daniels, cut her off. Ma'am, your nephew's bike was reported found this morning. It's at the station. You might want to check your facts before accusing a child. Linda's mouth dropped open, but no words came out. The crowd's murmurs turned to chuckles, and Mrs. Jenkins called out, Told you, Karen. But the drama wasn't over. Officer Daniels' eyes narrowed as he studied Karen. There's more. CycleWorks reported a woman matching your description trying to return a bike without a receipt yesterday. Care to explain? Karen's smugness vanished, her eyes darting to Linda, who suddenly found the grass fascinating. Two don't know what you're talking about, Karen stammered. Sarah's jaw dropped. Karen hadn't just accused Timish tried to scam the store with a stolen bike. Maybe even the one she claimed was her nephew's. The pieces clicked. Karen's nephew hadn't lost a bike. She'd seen Timmy's new Schwinn and thought she could claim it. Maybe sell it for a quick buck. The audacity made Sarah's stomach churn. Officer Daniels stepped closer, his voice firm. Ma'am, making false accusations and attempting to claim stolen property is serious. I'll need you to come with me. Karen's eyes widened, her hands flailing. This is outrageous. I'm an HOA board member. Linda, panicking, tried to back away, but Daniel stopped her. You're coming too. Witnesses saw you both at the store. The crowd erupted in gasps and whispers as Daniels cuffed Karen, her muumuu bunching awkwardly. Linda, pale as a ghost, followed without a fight. Timmy, still clutching his dinosaur, whispered, Mom, are they in trouble? Sarah nodded, stroking his hair. Yes, baby. They made a big mistake. As the cruiser pulled away, Karen's indignant shrieks faded into the dusk. The neighbors lingered, their chatter a mix of shock and vindication. Mrs. Jenkins approached Sarah, her eyes soft. I'm sorry I didn't speak up sooner. Those two have bullied us all for years. Mr. Patel nodded, offering Timmy a high five. Happy birthday, kid. That's one cool bike. Sarah smiled, her chest lighter than it had been in months. She'd come to this neighborhood hoping for a community, but Karen and Linda had made it feel like a battlefield. Now, with their lies exposed, she saw a flicker of hope. Maybe this place could be home after all. Timmy hopped on his bike, pedaling in wobbly circles as the crowd cheered. Sarah watched, her heart swelling. The bike gleamed under the streetlights, its bow fluttering like a victory flag. Karen and Linda would face their consequences charges for false reporting and attempted theft, but for Sarah, the real win was Timmy's smile. As the neighbors drifted back to their homes, Sarah knelt beside her son. What do you say we ride to the park tomorrow? She asked. Timmy grinned, his dinosaur tucked under his arm. Can we get ice cream too? Sarah laughed, pulling him into a hug. Anything for the birthday boy. The end.